Hi guys, and welcome back to Shay Rob, and just doing a little video about a record haul that I got the other day. A good friend of mine, Clive Stocker, who I've known for many years. I first met him at Bath College, where I was teaching drums to the rock and pop students, and he was running the course, and that was a great course. I'm not sure if it's still running, but it used to be pretty much A1. And I'm proud of the drummers that have come through that have gone on to do really good things. And we've stayed in contact through the years. And he messaged me a little while ago saying he had a load of jazz vinyl that he was looking at moving on. He said, I need some space in the house, you know. He's expecting a baby in September. Congratulations, you guys. And he said, could you come and pick it up? So I went over last night because I'm gigging tonight and the rest of the week he's busy. And I've just got a few of the things. I just wanted to share them with you because I do collect vinyl, as you know, and that's only a part of it there. Loads of it are still at my mum's at the garage when I moved, in her garage, you know, so I need to bring some of that over. But I love, before we start, and I will do another video on this, but I love those jazz albums from the 50s and the 60s, where the drummers were sort of the soloists and the band leader, and they had some, you know, very hip and cool album sleeves on Blue Note, Prestige, Ovation, and loads of different labels of these drummers looking, you know, really fly in their suits. And, you know, I'm not a smoker and I'm not really into that, but, you know, some of them they'd be smoking and the rings of smoke going up, you know, very Blue Note jazz club-esque type vibe. And I think they're great, and those albums are great, and I'll do a little video as a separate entity on drummer albums, if you like. And then late 60s, early 70s, the covers got a bit crass and a bit weird, but anyway, not as cool. So I've always into collecting, not only just for the music, which is the first thing, some great drummers and great bands, great musicians on those records, but also, you know, the cover art is cool too. So when he said come and pick up some records, I was over the moon. And the drummer that he got these from, her name was Val, and she was a great drummer, and she was friendly with a lot of the big names in the industry from here and America. And she hung out famously with Joe Morello many times, and I think she had one of his Ludwig 400 snare drums for a period of time and stuff. And, you know, straight off the bat, the first thing that Clive gave me was, would you want this picture of Joe Morello? And I was like, yes, please. I mean, look at that. It's brilliant. Look at the left hand there. Look at the fingers. Look at the thumb. Perfect traditional grip. What a great drummer, you know. I think he's one of the finest drummers in the world. Some people say he was the finest drummer in the world, you know, in that world, jazz world. But who knows? You know, I don't like to do. There's going to be a video on who's best, who's greatest, and all that business at some point. But I just thought that was great, so I'll find a place to put that in the flat somewhere. Inspirational Joe doing his thing. Yeah. My dad would have loved that, because Joe Morello, even though he loved Philly Joe, Buddy Rich, you know, you name them, he loved them all. But, you know, Shelly Manne was his favourite, I think. But technical and technique-wise, he always thought that actually Joe Morello was the finest drummer in the world. So we kick off straight off with, and I've not heard any of these yet. They look in quite good condition though. But Jazz Today, oh. And it's with Kenny Baker, Dill Jones, and Bruce Turner. A session for kicks. Hey man, I love all that hip talk. We play jazz for the kicks, man. So I'll let you know what these sound like when I've actually been through them and I've listened to them. And this is one that I think my dad would have loved, Vic Feldman. He was a very talented musician. He was like the prince of his day, I think, because he's playing the piano, he's playing the vibes, he's the composer, the arranger, he's the conga drummer, and he's the drummer. The multiple talents of Victor Feldman. And, you know, it's in pretty good condition I mean, hard to tell on camera, but they may need a bit of a clean here and there, but that's fine. You know, and you can feel and see that there's, you know, no surface damage on the records and stuff. And also I've never really seen these. These are like a 10-inch or something. You know, that's interesting, weird. And then, of course, some of them, I mean, all of them I wanted to snap up. Some I already had duplicates of, so there's no point me getting more of the Buddy Rich stuff because I've already got all that stuff. But this one, which I know is a classic, Louie Bellson, big band jazz from the Summit. Not going to get very far with just a snare drum for the gig though. Mind you, he has got sticks. But when you're Louie Bellson and that good, then And I actually met Louie, and he was a real gentleman and a real sweetheart, I have to say. It was at a drum clinic down in Poole in Dorset many years ago. I went down with all the guys from Assembly Music in a minibus. We all trekked down there to see him, and he signed a head, which I've got in the cupboard. I must get all those heads out, actually. That's another video, but yes, so Louie Bellson, that's going to be great. I know that's a goodie. This one I don't know, but Studio 2. I love the Studio 2, this label here. They do lots of very interesting and weird albums from the 60s and 70s. And one of my friends, Eddie John, who's a great drummer from Bristol, he's a big fan, and I know he'd love this probably. The dynamic drums of Louie Bellson. I don't know much about this one. I've seen it on Discogs, and I've seen it come up when you do searches for Louie Bellson albums, but this one I haven't got. Looks good. It's from 1968, so it's in that my favourite period of music, generally in the 60s. But yeah, Louie in London. Now this is when we're getting into the kind of the album art that maybe isn't as cool, but hey, whatever. You know, there we are, Louie, and a very, you know, unimpressed guard there. But obviously this was made when he was in England, touring, and I haven't checked it out yet. Again, literally, this is the next day, you know, the next morning, and I've just sort of quickly went through them and thought, time to do a video before I forget. But it's going to be good. Obviously, it's all London-based theme, you know. So tunes called Carnaby Street, Proud Thames, The London Suite, King's Road Boogaloo, Hyde Park at 2 AM, Limehouse Blues, Sketches from the National Gallery, and so on. Nice. This one I know nothing about, Louis Stewart, but it's got Billy Higgins on drums, and that can't be a bad thing. Billy Higgins was on Sidewinder and a lot of those Blue Note albums, and was constantly smiling when he was playing. He was just brilliant. A Joe Morello album, It's About Time, which surprisingly I haven't got. I've got Another Step Forward and a few others over there somewhere, which have also got great covers. But this is a really famous one that I've never had in my collection over the years. So I'm glad I've kind of got that one. This is going to be a good record. This one's going to be interesting. From Styxland with Love, Drums and Folklore. Now, looking at this, we have got some old sort of marching drummers here. We've got some kit drummers, four kit drummers. Now, this actually very nicely sort of can dovetail into a project that I worked with Clive on. And Clive was the guy who gave me these records. And Clive is also, as well as running the Bath College Rock and Pop course, he's also a singer and a composer and a great piano player, and he's good at all of those things. And I approached him to do a project called the Enclosure Act, which was written by Ted Benham and myself, and Ted played percussion on the Susie Sue tours for the Manta Ray tour back in the day. And he too is a very good percussion player and piano player and composer, arranger of sort of modern classical music. And I was just getting into the Steve Reich and Philip Glass ideas and discovering a lot of ambient music at the same time, and I'm going to do something else on that at another time. And anyway, we wrote this thing with one drummer, choir, tune percussion, piano, and electronics, and it was called the Enclosure Act. Unfortunately, we never recorded it, but we did 2 or 3 nights in Corsham. It wasn't quite like Prince's 21 night stand at the O2 back in the 2007, but hey, it was Corsham, and I'm a boy from Corsham, so it's worth doing. I think we did 2 nights, and they were both sold out, which is great. Yay! All my friends came, probably both nights. But it was a really, you know, forward-looking project. And I've since discovered, you know, of course, people have been doing this since the dawn of time, but I was so new at it and a bit naive. I thought, yeah, this is going to be awesome. And it was. And thanks for the people who came along. So this should be good. I'm looking forward to hearing this, you know. And also the Freedom Now suite was an inspiration as well, which is Max Roach and Abby Lincoln. I thought that was, but that's for another thing, another chat. Kings of Drums. There we go. These compilations, they're a little bit cheesy sometimes, and they've usually got, like, if it's Buddy Rich, they'll have West Side Story. If it's Gene Krupa on there, it's Sing, Sing, Sing. Louie Bellson will be Skin Deep. And yes, they're on here. But obviously not Buddy Rich. This is Gene Krupa, Louie Bellson, Art Blakey and Kenny Clark. And yeah, we've got Sing, 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 Skin Deep, The Sacrifice. And yeah, don't need to read them all, do we? We've got to get through them all. Lloyd Ryan, who I met many years ago at a drum clinic. He's a UK drum teacher extraordinaire and part of the royalty of UK drumming, of drummers and drumming, you know. And I didn't know he made this record. It's like a teaching record where you get to play 2001, Hey Jude, MacArthur Park and other stuff. And in true teaching fashion, you get the parts as well, which I haven't been through yet, but just flicking through it, you know, it's true to its word. There's the parts to MacArthur Park. So before the days of, you know, download the PDF and you can play along in the MP3, you had to go to a record shop and you could get a drum lesson on these vinyls. And I know my dad had a few of these as well with jazz records and so on and so forth, where they'd have the parts drummerless on one side and with the drum on the other side. So this is going to be great. Pulse of Time, Lloyd Ryan. I'd love to have this signed by him. That would be amazing. But yeah, that's pretty fly. And then 4 albums to finish with by Dick Schory, who I don't know much about. I've got one album because I bought it because the cover was so cool. And I know nothing about Dick Schory. I guess he was an arranger and a composer. Always used Joe Morello and a lot of drummers on his records, so maybe he was a drummer too. I need to find all this out. But it's always with this percussion pops orchestra. And in the 60s and 70s, there was a lot of this percussion pop orchestras. So trying to, I guess, make younger people, you know, would look at the sleeve and see that they were doing Beatles and Stones and Simon and Garfunkel tunes or whatever, or film themes and TV themes, and think, oh, I'll buy that, that'll be hip. And it was done with these great session musicians playing all this pop stuff, you know. It's just great because anyone who knows, who's tried to play that stuff with a brass band or an orchestra or a pop band, they know how difficult it is, actually. And these recordings are done so well. So I picked up this one. It's called Moving On. Yeah, nothing really famous on there. Oh, there's Aquarius, Jungle Route, Song for a Small Boy in the Mode. Maybe these tunes are famous. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't recognise them. And here's another one. The cover not quite so good here, actually. 1963. Oh, okay. Super Percussion. Dick Schory again. And then there's this one, which looks great. Which looks really old. This looks like 50s to me. Yeah, it doesn't say on here. On the label. Oh, 1960. Yeah. So Wild Percussion and Horns Aplenty. Ho, ho, ho. Dick Schory's new percussion ensemble. Lullaby of Broadway, Dancing on the Ceiling. I guess that isn't the Dancing on Lionel Richie. Yeah, so good. Beyond the Sea. So that's going to be good. And the last one is Dick Schory again at Carnegie Hall, which is a double album. Whoa, and a great picture of Joe Morello there. I guess Joe Morello is clearly on this record, as is Gary Burton, Paul Horn, and yes, Joe Morello's featured. And I'm really looking forward to hearing this because there's a tune on here called Futura for 4 Phase 2 synthesizers and orchestra. So here we go. This is that whole electronics and orchestral stuff working together. And then on side 4, there's Concerto for Jazz Drums and Orchestra. And I guess the soloist is going to be our man Joe there. So that's amazing. This is going to be great. You know, sorry I haven't got any more info. I literally, as I say, picked them up yesterday. It was a hot night last night. I did my best to sleep because it's so hot at the moment here in the UK for once. I got up today and had a quick flick through, and I thought, you know, there are some others that I've got. There's 2 or 3 others I didn't include, but yeah, they're the ones that really stood out to me. So I'll let you know what they're like. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any questions about these records and want to know what some of them sound like, let me know and I'll try and critique them the best I can. But thanks, Clive, for this record haul. It's great. As I say, if anyone else out there has got records they're looking at going, I wonder if Rob would like these, then drop me a line on the details below or above or wherever it's going to be, wherever this is posted. And thanks for watching. Have a great day. Keep on drumming. Keep enjoying music. Keep liking and subscribing. You know, I'm really enjoying the interaction we're getting on these posts. So thanks again, guys. Take care. See you soon.